Dear viewers, welcome to my today's class. Today I've got a topic from economics and the topic is why demand curve slopes downward. This is my discussing topic today, why demand curve slopes downward. Dear viewers, my dear friends, we can see here there is a graphical presentation of a demand curve. A demand curve is drawn here with price on its vertical axis and the quantity is on its horizontal axis. We see here that this demand curve slopes downward from left to right. What it says? It says that there is an inverse relation between price and the quantity. When price rises, quantity demanded decreases. When price goes fall, quantity demanded increases. So there is inverse relation between price and quantity. Now today's discussion issue, why demand curve slopes downward. Simple answer is that simply we can say that demand curve slopes in order to show the inverse relationships between the price and quantity when other things remain unchanged. This is very simple answer. But what is the reason for these inverse relations to happen? The answer is with income effect, substitution effect and the law of diminishing marginal utility. Now first come to the income effect. How we can explain with income effect, that is how income effect causes demand curve slopes down from left to right. Before going to the income effect, we need to know about real income. What is real income? Real income is nothing but it is a nominal income when your nominal income will be considered in terms of goods and services which you are able to purchase with your income. For example, a consumer's income per week is $100 and a commodity like rice which is sold in the market at a price and the price is $4 per kg. What would be the real income of the consumer? If you divide 100 by 4, you will get 25 kg. That is, the consumer is able to purchase 25 kg of rice with his whole income. That is, if he finishes all his income to purchase the commodity like rice, he is able to purchase 25 kg rice. In that sense, his real income is 25 kg. If the price goes fall and it is $2 per kg, that is the rice, that is the price of the rice is $2 per kg, what would be his real income? His real income will be 50 kg. That is also, if we divide by 2, the figure will come to 50 kg. So we can say that 50 kg is his real income. What we say here is that when price falls, real income increases, and when price up, real income decreases. Now come to the point. Income effect. Suppose the price of a commodity is P. When price P falls, what will happen to the real income of the consumers? The real income of the consumers will goes up. Due to increase in his real income, his purchasing capacity will increase. Ultimately, he will purchase more of the goods, and which results in the increased demand. Conversely, when the price of the commodity P goes up, real income will goes down, purchasing capacity will go down, and demand will go down. So here we see that there is inverse relations between price and quantity due to the income effect. So now we see how income effect causes the inverse relations between price and quantity to happen. Now come to another point, substitution effect. For substitution effect, we can consider two alternative products like tea or coffee. Tea and coffee, these are two substitute products. People can buy one instead of another one, we can alternate with each other. When the price of tea falls, what will happen to the consumer? Consumer will think that tea is become cheaper. It will become more cheaper to them in compared to coffee, and they will go for tea. That is, there will be a switch of purchase. A switch of purchase will occur due to substitution effect. Conversely, we can say that when the price of the tea increases, the demand for the tea will also decreases. So there is also an inverse relations between price and quantity due to the substitution effect. In our day-to-day life, what we purchase, like soap, sugar, flour, all other things, we have so many things around us to purchase in our day-to-day life. Whatever the goods, whatever the commodities, every goods or commodities have more or several alternative products. So when the price of a commodity changes, there will become substitution effect to come into effective. So due to substitution effect, there will be the inverse relations between price and quantity. So we have got the idea, and I think that you are very much clear about this. Now come to the another point, which is the law of diminishing marginal utility. What is called utility? Why do we consume a product? We consume a product or a commodity in order to get the satisfaction, or in order to meet up the needs, or in order to meet up the want of we consume a product. So what is utility? Utility is the satisfaction we get from the consumption of a commodity. This is called utility. What is marginal utility? Marginal utility is the additional utility we get from the last unit of consumption from the relating products. This is marginal utility. So this is a law of diminishing marginal utility. What does it say? It says that when the consumption of a commodity increases, the marginal utility decreases. This is the law of diminishing marginal utility. We can see this phenomenon, see this event with a graphical presentations here, how law of diminishing marginal utility causes marginal utility curve to slope downward from left to right. Here we see that when a consumer consumes 1 unit of the commodity, his utility will be U1. When he consumes 2, his utility will be U2. When he consumes 3, his utility will be U3. When he consumes 4, utility will be U4. When he consumes 5, his utility will be U5. And when he consumes 6, there will be no utility for him. The marginal utility becomes 0. So what we say here is that when the consumption increases, marginal utility decreases. This is due to the law of diminishing marginal utility. Examples make you clear things that while you are taking breakfast in the morning and you are given a cup of coffee, it will give you the highest satisfactions for the first coffee. If you are given second coffee, it will be most welcome by you. But for the third one, it will get a little bit less satisfactions. And for fourth cup, you will get an even more lower satisfaction from the previous one. So what we see here is that if you continue to take a cup of coffee one after another, a time will come when it will become very uneasy for you. It will bring dissatisfaction for you. It will be dissatisfied with taking coffee. And here we see that when you are given 6 cups of coffee, your satisfaction is 0, that is your utility is 0, and you will get no marginal utility, that is marginal utility is 0. So what we see here is that you will stop your consumptions after reaching at this point. After this point, marginal utility will become negative. So being a rational consumer, every consumer is rational, so he will increase his consumptions up to this point when the marginal utility is zero. So what we see here is that because of the law of diminishing marginal utility, the marginal utility curve is downward sloping. The shape of this marginal utility curve is almost similar with the demand curve. So what about the price? If you were asked how much money you would like to pay for the first cup of coffee, if you were asked, what would be your answer? As a rational consumer, your answer would be that you will pay the price which will be equal to the utility you were getting from the first cup of coffee. That is, you would like to pay U1 for first cup, for second cup your price will be U2, for third cup your price will be U3, for fourth cup it will be U4, for fifth cup it will be U5, for sixth cup there will be no price. That is, if you were given free, then you will take this sixth cup of coffee. So what we see here that when we think the marginal utility is to be the price of the commodity, the marginal utility curve will become the demand curve. So this is the basis of drawing the demand curve from the marginal utility curve. So what we see here is that the shape of the marginal utility curve and the shape of the demand curve is same. So things make us clear that why does the law of diminishing marginal utility causes demand curve to slope down from left to right. I think that you are very much clear about this, that why demand curve slopes downward. If somebody asks you why demand curve slopes downward, simply your answer is that demand curve slopes down due to income effect, substitution effect, and the action of the law of diminishing marginal utility. So what we get today, we have the idea that why demand curve slopes downward. Demand curve slopes downward with the effectiveness of three things like income effect, substitution effect, and the law of diminishing marginal utility. So dear friends, I think that you are very much clear about this and you have got the idea. So many thanks for viewing my videos and hope for the best, and see you on my next videos. Thank you very much.